Hi guys, welcome back to the channel today. Now it is a rainy and dreary day outside, and it is also a dreary day for modern video game collecting, and we're going to get right into that topic today. I'm going to pop a couple clips on the screen and then we're going to talk about it, and I'll see you in a second.
Microsoft just gave a huge price hike to the Xbox. So the Series X is going from $500 to $600, and the Series S has an even bigger percentage jump, going from $300 to $380. Now, all of this is effective immediately. Now, there are, at least as of recording this video, a handful of retailers who have not raised the prices yet, but it is only a matter of time. Making matters worse, games are also going to be going up. So specifically, first-party Xbox titles this holiday season are going to jump up to $80, just like you're seeing on the Switch 2. Now, it is important to note that that is not going to be retroactive, so current games shouldn't go up in price, but still, this is incredibly bad. And to make matters even worse than that, I think at this point there is nothing stopping Sony from slapping on an extra $100 to the PS5 due to the trade war pretty much any time now. So if you're looking for a recommendation of what to do, go out and buy your console. And do it yesterday.
Alright, so in a stunning move here, Microsoft, Sony have raised the prices on their consoles. Now, if you are living in the United States, I would blame the tariffs on some of this. For us up in here in Canada, we always get the short end of the stick anyways. Usually our consoles cost, on average, I would say $100 more on launch than in the United States. I think ours have went up by like 80 or 100 bucks too. So we can all join the club together. By the way, this is an official Dark Watch shirt. If you haven't played that game on the Xbox and PlayStation 2, you want to give it a try. It's one of the best games on the platform, and I'll live by that. Let's get into this, guys. So it looks like the PlayStation 5, the digital edition is at $499, the Pro is $749, and then the PlayStation 5, I'm assuming just the regular disc version, is at $550. Now, some retailers have been raising the prices on these already, and some are still kind of holding firm for a little bit, but they're all going to go up, guys. Sony and Microsoft have both released this information. There is just no going back now. Just go over some of the Xbox prices here. So it looks like the Series S with the 512 is going up to $399. The 1 terabyte is $450. The Series X digital is going to $599. The Series X is going to $649, and the 2 terabyte is going to $799. What is going on here? Like $800 for basically a 2 terabyte Xbox and basically for the PlayStation 5. Now, storage is not that expensive. Like, you can buy like 2 terabyte SD cards and stuff. They're not that much money, guys. I don't know what's going on here. I know there is a global trade war now. We're not going to get into the politics of that. Every time I mention that, half the people chew my head off and half the people agree with it. And whether you want to agree with it or not, it has caused some of this for sure. There's no way for it not to. And then we also have worldwide inflation that has caused some of this as well. You know, there was a chip shortage during COVID that did not help. But really, this is unprecedented for the times. You never see consoles really go up in price after their launch, and these things have been out a long time, guys. They're not new consoles. I think they've been out like 5 or 6 years. You know, in the infancy of their lifespan, I would say they're starting to run into the twilight part of it. I would assume they'll probably go 8 years until the next one comes out, maybe 7. I don't know what their plans are. The most shocking part of this is the consoles with this type of tech being at $800. What are the new consoles gonna cost? Are they gonna be, you know, $1,000? Are they gonna be $1,200? And who's gonna be buying them at that price? Like, I'm a proponent. I love consoles, guys. I don't like gaming on a PC. I don't like updating drivers and, you know, upgrading constantly all the time. The draw for the casual gamer of the console is You buy it for what used to be a reasonable price, you plug it in, it works. The games go in, they work. You know, there's usually not any issues with consoles. There's less cheaters on the platforms when you're playing. And there's just a myriad of reasons for being a console gamer. Me personally, I like playing on a controller. Now I know you can plug them into a PC, and that's a moot point. But for most people, they just want to turn on their console and play, guys, and that's the way it is. So I think what's going to happen in the next gen is you will see a lot of people get pushed to the PC platform because, you know, I don't know if I would spend $1,200 on a console. I'd probably just buy like a decent mid-range gaming PC, and I'm sure it's probably going to be a bit more than that. But, you know, you get a lot more use out of a computer anyways. You can use it for basically everything, you know, so it is what it is on that point. But you knew when the Nintendo Switch came out and it was so expensive that these guys were going to follow suit. The Japanese companies got hit with huge tariffs sending stuff to the United States. And in turn, it's just bloated the prices up on all of this stuff. I think at this point, the companies are trying to foolproof their products so that more tariff stuff going on, that they're kind of covered and they don't have to do another price hike on top of these. But this is going to sting really bad, guys, and it's probably not going to be a good Christmas season for these console makers. There's just not a lot of choice out there on physical media, but a lot of it does not. Now, you go into any local Walmart, Best Buy, any of these stores that would sell video games, and the shelves are getting smaller pretty much month by month basis, I would say. And at some point, I believe you are going to see game companies do away with the physical media, and probably the only way you're going to get physical media is to buy these expensive deluxe bundles that have a statue in them or a book or something, you know, something like that, guys. They'll be collector's editions, and then you're going to have the scalpers buy them all up, and nobody that's an average collector will be able to afford any of that. And I always did wonder why digital games cost the same as the physical copy games in the store. Other than me having Game Pass and game sharing, if I wasn't game sharing, I would 100% be going out and buying these physical copies just so I had them. Because if you ever want to sell it down the road and get some of your money back for a different game, you can do that. But once you buy the digital game, they got you by the nuts, guys, you know. And you're never going to recoup any of your money on that. It's just the way it is. It's kind of like buying skins and stuff, how they've got everyone doing that. You know, buying weapons on some of these games and that. And I understand some of the games are free and they have to do that to make money. But I don't see a great value in digital products in general. I never really got into that. I don't think it's worth paying money for skins or weapons in a game, guys. That's just me. And in other news, Microsoft has announced they will be raising prices on their games. Now, I don't find this surprising with Game Pass and how they're doing this stuff. A lot of the games that have come out, they're big AAA titles, they need to recoup their money. So when you're just paying that monthly subscription, I think it probably takes them longer to recoup their money just because there's so many games on Game Pass, guys. So up here in Canada, I would expect to be paying $100 or $90 for just a standard game now. And our prices are usually $10 higher than our American friends. So if you are down in the United States, I know your prices are going up as well. I think yours are going up to $79 or $89. I'd have to double check that. The justification of it, you're going to pay this $90 and you're going to get a year's worth of entertainment out of it. I do get that, but at some point this has to slow down. Or people are just going to start weaning off this or walking away from it. I know I have a little bit. I just haven't been that interested in playing a lot of the new games. I've honestly been more interested in playing some of the retro games. The good thing about the retro ones, guys, you stick it in the console and it works, and, you know, everything's good. Now, one thing I really dislike about the modern gaming stuff is everything is going digital, guys, and it's not so much that while you don't own the game anyways, it's the server aspect of it and that everything is online. And, you know, so many of these games, they will just not be supported in 5 or 10 years, especially like online multiplayer games. You're seeing it, the servers, they just, after a couple of years, a lot of them, they will just shut them down unless it's a big company like EA or Activision that has the money to keep this stuff going. The smaller studios, they're not going to keep supporting these games unless they're super successful and there's a long-term goal with it. But if you release like a single player game or something and you don't want to support it after 5 years, it's not generating any revenue, it'll be gone. That will be the shame of it, because while I understand the multiplayer stuff, it has a life cycle, guys, a lot of it. You know, you're going to have stuff like Apex, Counter-Strike, even kind of Warzone will throw that in there. Stuff like that has a long-term goal. Fortnite too, where they're selling skins, so the game will it will keep on going as long as people are engaged with it. You're seeing a lot of studios that release these multiplayer games. They'll either flop or they'll go on for like a year and then they'll just die, and then basically the game is gone. Even a lot of the single player games require an online element to log in to use a server and stuff, and I really hate this, guys. It really is going to be the demise of the gamers, and we have done this to ourselves by being lazy and just downloading stuff digitally. And I don't mean to offend anyone, I do it too, but we've been conditioned to do this. You know, we've got cell phones, everyone playing Candy Crush or Angry Birds, and it's just, oh, I'll download this, you know, I'll play it on the phone, and there's no thought of what happens when they shut the servers down and this stuff. Well, I know what happens. You don't have the game anymore. You can't play it anymore. It's gonna be the fate of a lot of these games, guys. Don't kid yourself. So my suggestion for you is, if you can at least buy the physical media, hopefully the single player stuff, you can still sort of play it down the road. At least if you do buy the physical copy and you are a collector and you just want it on the shelf to be in your collection, you'll always have that part of it. At least it's something. Something is better than nothing in most cases. I have to do a circle back on this to Call of Duty because of the fiasco of Black Ops 6, we'll say. They put a bunch of cartoony skins in it. I think there was some like Modern Dad or whatever. It was like the Family Guy spin-off. I forget what the name of the show is. There's like Beavis and Butthead, the Ninja Turtles, whatever. They cel shaded these characters. They looked literally like cartoon characters, or, you know, they kind of had that Borderlands-y look to it, if you know what I mean, if you played that, which I really like those games, by the way. No offense to Borderland fans. Awesome game franchise. I'm definitely going to play the new one. But anyways, we're going to carry over the skins from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7. And then they released that with the trailer. It got panned. Everyone hated it. And myself included. Like, I like my Call of Duty to be grounded in a little bit of reality. Yes, it's an arcade shooter. I get that. I don't want to see Beavis and Butthead out running around curb stomping people or butt ending them with a rifle. It's ridiculous and it looks stupid. So after the big backlash, big surprise, all these skins are going to be useless. So anyone who bought all this shit, you know, you had it for however many months and then it's gone for good, guys. So just my opinion, be wary of buying skins, cosmetics, anything, you know, as long as you're willing to go into it knowing that it could go away, and it probably will go away. There's no problem with that. If you enjoy it, whatever, that's fine. But for the overall gaming industry, I think it's really bad how it's gone, and I think it's really going to turn the collecting scene into basically non-existent. Most of us people are just going to have to go back to collecting the older stuff. So I think we're going to be looking at basically PS5, Xbox Series X and back. And I don't think there's going to be much coming out on the new consoles when they do come out. And again, guys, the games on the new consoles are probably going to be $100 anyways. So it's not like you're going to go out and collect a whole shitload of games on it regardless, right? So really, to me, guys, just the moral of this is, I think modern gaming, it really does suck. And, you know, modern collecting does suck, guys. And that's kind of the reason I really don't care about it. Most of the games coming out now, the AAA ones, are just franchises making the same game over and over again every year. Just, you know, adding a new title, giving it a facelift, and, you know, here's Call of Duty number 92, enjoy it, whatever, blah, 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 you know. Same with Battlefield, the Mario stuff. It is basically all the same stuff now. There's no real new big IPs coming out. There's the odd one, but they're far and few between. The publishers and developers are going with what they know will make the money. They keep going with their cash cows. Ubisoft with their franchises, Activision, EA, they're all doing it. So you're not getting as many of these small studios making really cool games and getting started out. And the cost for these small studios to make a good game is very expensive anyways, unless you hit the jackpot like Mohang with Minecraft or something like that. It's very difficult. It's going to be a grim future for the new games, guys. If you like playing really polished, good-looking games, those will be available on these. It's just going to come at a big cost. You better be willing to pay it if you want to be a player, guys. That's all I'm going to say about this. We're going to move on. If you have any topics you'd like me to cover about video games or buying and selling or any of that jazz, let me know in the comments below. I will cover them, and I'll do the best of my ability to remain neutral on the subject. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all the support, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.